Hello everyone, welcome to the Green Man channel, hope you're doing good and well. So for this Sunday's album review I'm going to be talking about some new symphonic metal from the band Xandria, and this is their 8th year album, The Wonder Still Awaiting, which came out on Friday the 3rd of February via Napalm Records. The album is 13 tracks and it's an hour and 14 minutes in length. So I am not familiar with Xandria at all really. This is my first experience with them listening to this album. And they have a pretty new lineup apparently. So the founding member Marco Heubaum is still in the band, but with 4 other new band members, and these band members are Ambra Vuvahis on vocals, Robert Clavon on guitar, Tim Schwartz on bass guitar, and Dimitrios Gatsios is on drums. So considering this is a pretty new lineup, and also that it's my first experience listening to the band, I really liked this album. I really liked it quite a lot. I thought it was, a lot of the tracks stood out to me. I thought that there was good production on this album. The mix of all the different elements from the symphonic to the more metal parts of the songs were all driven home pretty well. I thought that balance in sound was excellent for most of the album. And I also thought the vocals and that the vocals were always pretty audible too. So you really got that powerful, almost that arena sound you want from a symphonic metal album. You want to be able to hear all the elements. You don't want one part of it to be drowned out too much, so you can really get the epicness of the sound coming through to you. And you certainly get that with the Xandria album, I would say for sure. It's a really, really, as I say, potent is the word I would use to describe this. You really kind of feel every track. And it certainly doesn't leave you wondering about sort of any aspects of it, though all the aspects are very clear. So let's go into the tracks a bit more on this album. So the album kicks off with 2 waltz, a really grand, epic start to the album, very heavy. Symphonic elements pretty front and centre as well here, and I like the choices they make in this track. I think it's a really explosive start to the album, and sort of gives you a good idea of what you're going to get as well, because there are some nice melodic moments in the song too. Reborn, the second track, lead guitar work comes to the fore a bit more, I think, in this one, as I remember. It sort of reminds me a little bit of a Wishmaster track from Nightwish, going back 20 or so years to that album. One of my favourite albums, incidentally, from Nightwish. I like that track quite a bit. Where the album I thought got seriously really great was with the third song, You Will Never Be Our God, which incidentally was also a single released prior to the album release. I thought this was a really, really strong song, featuring Ralph Sheeper of Primal Fear guesting here on vocals as well. And this was just a really well worked chorus in this song that will stay with you for a while after you've heard it. I think they were right probably to choose this as a single, because it's a really catch-on number. Really enjoyed You Will Never Be Our God. And it's followed by another really strong track, I think, with The Wonder Still Awaiting, with that explosive operatic start before it goes more into some of the more familiar territory that you might expect, I guess, from this kind of album. But some really cool leads, more really beautiful vocal moments on display here from singer Ambra. And then you get sort of slightly later on in the album, you get a track called Your Stories I'll Remember, which is much more of a ballad sort of a song, but very well delivered. You get kind of a good rise of the final chorus, I think, on this song. Love some of the vocal moments. Love the use of that woodwind instrument at the end of the song. It kind of gives it a nice, gentle, understated finish, which I thought was suitable for the song as well. My Curse Is My Redemption, one of my favourite tracks on the album, being another more memorable song, I would say. Really lovely vocal work again, and lovely songwriting as well, I think, for this song. I really enjoyed. Perhaps though, The Crowning Glory, my favourite track on this album, that is already a candidate for one of my songs of 2023. Certainly so far this song is a standout now, is Mirror of Time. Mirror of Time is just at a point in the album where I think you needed something that was going to push you towards the end. It's quite a long album, this, an hour and a quarter. So this track comes in at the right time, I think. It's a really strong track with a good contrast, I think, in this track. Really good heavy riffing, but contrasted well with the melodic moments and the melodic vocal moments. But then there's progressions towards the end of this song which really get, you know, the vocal range of Ambra is shown really well towards the end of this track. She gets higher and higher and higher, but it goes really well with the instrumentation as well. It's just a really epic finish to this song that is stunning. It's stunning and really, really good. I loved Mirror of Time. That will be, as I say, that I'll be surprised maybe if that doesn't appear in my top songs at the end of the year list, but yeah, really, really strong song. And the other song I really liked was right at the end of the album, Xandria. Excellent song with, again, a bit of variation in the style of this track, I thought, from its predecessors, so it gave something a bit fresh. And again, I thought with an album this long, you do need that. So if I'm going to criticise the album at all, and, you know, I think, you know, I really enjoyed this, very impressed at the power of the album and everything. But if I had one criticism at all, I think it is that it is a little bloated. There were a couple of tracks that perhaps didn't do quite as much for me. I think The Maiden and the Child and Illusion Is Their Name were sort of more, you know, they were quite good songs, they were decent, but for me, with an album this long, I think it needs sometimes to breathe a bit, and you need songs which, or you know, just to trim it a little bit, just to make it even more of a memorable listen, and a really, you know, just to make it that bit more condensed, I think, and easy for the listener, because I thought at times it was venturing into that territory where it may have gone a little bit samey, but that was rare in this album for the most part. So I'm going to give this album an 8 out of 10. That is the highest score so far this year on the channel, incidentally. So yeah, I do recommend this one, particularly fans of symphonic metal. I think you're going to love this. You know, you will form your own opinions, but I think you'll love this one. So from me, everybody, thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. Otherwise, from me, it's bye for now.